Okay, let's go onward. Crew management UI is now active. Okay. Okay. Crew management window allows you to manage your comitatus. Let's see, so we have morale. If it drops to 1, they can just give up. Obedience indicates how satisfied your slaves are. Okay, we have slaves. That's nice. Low obedient leads to theft, runaways, and worse. Be sure to guard your slaves with enough fighters and treat your slaves well, or punish them consistently to raise obedience. Holy shit. Nutrition shows you how well fed your crew is. Low nutrition incurs penalties. Okay, vigor is how tired they are. Upkeep is how much you owe. Consumption is how much food they consume. Workforce is generated by workers and slaves, which is needed to cover the needs of everyone. Passengers are your comitatus. People your comitatus takes to their destination for rewards. You can take on passengers in events and they consume supplies, the lizard icon. So our morale is keen, our obedience is compliant, our nutrition is sustained, and our vigor is energetic. Ah, the wandering old man. That's the narrator. Interesting. Let's see, we can create an outrider with a mount and a fighter. For now, add an outrider, then close this window. Okay, cool. So that just subtracts a fighter and a mount. Ah, but the mounts, when they're not used as an outrider, can carry cargo. And the beasts of burden carry cargo. Cool. Let's move on. It's quiet. Too quiet. You've run out of movement points and need to camp. Okay. Being on the road all day, spending most of your movement points lowers the vigor of your comitatus, so you can replenish by camping. Okay. Ah, yes, so our vigor is down to, well, it's still energetic. Select the camp icon. Oh, it's here. Okay. Okay. At the end of each in-game day, the comitatus makes camp and settles down for the night. Supplies are consumed and movement points are refreshed after camping. At each camp, you can decide to offer normal or double wages for the current day, independent of whether you pay them or not. Double payment increases morale. You can also choose to pay all your debts or accrue payments, pay later. The longer you delay, the grumpier the crew gets. Interesting. Obedience and nutrition, as well as the option to discipline or liberate slaves. Starving your crew will have long-term negative effects on nutrition. Yeah. Okay, to hunting and foraging. You send out your crew out into the wasteland to find supplies and sometimes even other goods. Base chances for this activity depend on your perks, deputies, crew, and so on and so forth. Costing out hunting and foraging is movement points or vigor if you're out of movement points. I see. Hunting uses scouts and has a chance to get you a large number of supplies. Critical failure might kill scouts. Okay, so hunting and scouting is down here. Foraging is more reliable, but yields fewer supplies. Summary of what happened to your crew that day can be seen on the right. You can also talk to your companions using the speech bubble below their portraits. Okay, nice. Medical supplies to heal them better. You can also set your defense orders. Post no guards. That doesn't seem like a good idea. More lenient defense is a risk of nighttime ambush and a negative effect on obedience. Yeah, why wouldn't you? Oh, you increase your vigor because they don't get tired, right? Okay, let's see what we want to do. So we have more than enough money to pay everyone. So let's pay now. So we could liberate a slave or discipline one. Liberated slaves become workers. What's the disadvantage then? I'm not sure. Well, let's liberate one and see what happens. Gain 1 obedience. Okay. So we've increased our workforce. So what's the? I guess we have to pay. We have to pay workers. That's the difference. So let's see. I don't think we should increase our rations because we bought only enough to survive, I think. But then we can also, I guess it depends how well we do with hunting and foraging. Let's send out our workers to forage. Can we do both? Yeah, we can. This has a large negative chance to... there's not a good chance of success here. Our combined success chance is 21%. I don't think that's worth doing. But this has a combined chance of 64%. Let's try that. Let's talk to Javin here. Javik, sorry. You approach Javik. He's tending to one of your beasts of burden. When he sees you wish to talk, he steps away, motioning to a handler to finish what he started. What's on your mind, Vagrus? Ask what he thinks about Narbo's package. Yes, I'm very curious. Whatever is in it, your friend was really concerned to get it out of scrap heap with none the wiser and get it to this man in Avernum. When he sees your thoughtful expression, Javik adds, I sincerely hope you don't plan on opening the damn thing. We're in enough of a predicament, and it is as it is, and that would surely antagonise this Scornar fellow, who in Narbo's mind appeared a tough customer. Someone your friend was clearly afraid of. Was there something else you wanted to ask him? Yeah, I want to ask him what was in it. I guess he doesn't know. Ask him what he thinks of Avernum and what you can expect there. Oh yeah, I remember you haven't been there for a long time. Well, Avernum is less of a provincial town like Scrapheap these days and more like one of the great cities of the Empire. Sure, it's not as large as Devon or Torzag's Shelter, but it's a busy city with lots of people and commerce. They say that the prefect who oversees the place is his own private thing going on, and he's fairly easy on the crime bosses. Well, at least on those who play along. Trade from the region concentrates on Avernum and everyone wants to get their share. Enough chatting. Who's this person? Morborn is discussing something with a few scouts when you approach them. She sees you and steps away from her company, joining you next to a tent in the shadows. You immediately start to feel anxious as if roused out of a torpor by Tarkian coffee. The effects of her demonkin heritage, no doubt. Yeah, we haven't spoken to her before. Let's ask about demonkin. She seems thoughtful for a moment. Now, I can't speak of all of us because there are so many kinds and variants of our race. We're called demonkin since it's said that demonic blood runs in our veins. Around us, people feel uneasy or anxious. Each of us has abilities that men of your empire do not possess. I can see in the dark. Cold gets to me slower and my skin gets burned less likely than that of humans. It's all very practical. Oh, and I have these. She points to her horns and bone spikes. Yeah, okay. What do you think about the Comitatus? What I think is that everyone does what they're supposed to. We can deal with most problems on the way. There's a moment of silence and you realise she's done talking about this. Okay, enough chatting. Let's post guards. No bonuses, no penalties. Crew change. Oh yeah. 1+1 worker, -1 slaves. What's this? We don't need medical supplies. Yeah, that's fine. Let's end the day. Oh, cool. We found 15 supplies. No foragers harmed. Nice. Let's move on. Okay, so that's our movement points up here. Yeah, are reducing as we move. And if I'm understanding correctly, using up more than we have will... Oh, we can't. Yeah. Okay, I thought maybe we could spend vigor to move further, but I guess not. Okay, let's camp again. And also forage again. Seems we have no problems with obedience. Let's increase our rations just a bit to get this above to 6. I'm not comfortable with it being 5. Our vigor is 5, which probably means we should save some movement points for next camp. Maybe camping slightly before we run out of movement points. Oh, after a long day's march under bleak skies and harassed by hot winds, the Comitatus finally settles down in a wide ravine. After taking care of the camp chores and checking on all your komes, you go to your tent and tuck in for the night. There are benefits to sleeping out in the wasteland. The silence is quite calming, tranquil even. Only the murmur of distant fire-belching mountains, the whisper of the wind, and the occasional groans of your beasts can be heard. Except something else is making a muffled noise you do not recognize. Your eyes flick open. Something is wrong. What in Tartarus is it now? You rise to check it out. Leaving your tent and passing the sleeping beast, you are just about to call a guard when you stumble upon a large quadrupedal creature covered with fused bone protrusions. It is munching on supplies scattered across the ground, evidently from a torn open sack lying nearby. The creature is a Jakra, a wasteland scavenger that hunts in packs. Before you can utter a word, the monster charges you. And out of the shadows, Morwen leaps at it, tackling it aside and cutting its hide with a bone axe in a follow-up swing. You breathe out, realizing she probably just saved your life. Jarvik runs up to you just as the creature backs off and lets out a long howl. There's more of these accursed things, boss. Must have sneaked past the perimeter guards. He blurts out. As he does, you can hear yelling and the sounds of battle from around camp. The wounded Jakra is joined by another one from behind a cargo pile, and 2 of them start circling you. Jarvik steps beside Morwen as they ready for the fight. Cool. Companion combat is turn-based, where 1 to 6 enemies fight your team of 1 to 6 companions. You can use the skill of your companions to defeat your enemies, protect your companions, and set yourself up in advantageous positions on the combat board. Companion combat is made up of rounds. Each round, all the participants take turns to act. When everyone has had their turn, the current round ends and a new round is started. This goes on until either your companions or your enemies are defeated. Okay, friendly side, enemy side, front row, back row, 3 positions. Skills. Some skills can only be used in certain positions. Click on the begin fight button. Yeah! Melee skills can be used in the front row. They can target front row enemies. Okay, makes sense. All characters can move to any adjacent position on their own side. If they move into position is occupied by another character, the character is pushed out and is to be moved from adjacent free position. Okay. Characters in the front row prevent melee attacks against characters directly behind them, but also make them more difficult to hit with certain ranged skills. Okay. So yeah, let's move her to here. So Javik here can't be attacked. Each companion has 4 combat skills beside move. Okay. Okay, Mind Blast. Let's do it. Which one should we supposed to select? Tutorial indicator isn't telling us, but I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just target the one at the back. Nice. Melt its tiny brain. Oh! It's attacking her. Oh! What's that? Let's see. One fails impediment resist against pin. Pin inflicts 1 damage. Pin applies effect on more stun for 1 round. Shit! Okay, let's see what other stuff we have. Hypnosis. Single target moves where you command it. Interesting. Premonition. Caster and a single ally receive a bonus for initiative, accuracy, evade, and block. That might be good. But then, maybe we should just try to kill this thing. Okay. Oh! Crit! No! Is she going to get to attack? I mean, unless she was stunned, but... Forward skills include the options to push front row enemies back, Savage Kick, and to pull back row enemies to the front, Whiplash. Scum skills are more complex, including move and attack. Okay. Okay, so we have movement controls. Like they have those in Darkest Dungeon too. Okay, send the Jakra enemy to the back row. Okay, let's do that. So I guess that gets them into a position where they can't attack for another round. Yeah, combat log. I already read it. Like a scroller, but if you want to see more of it, click it to open fully. Forfeit button? No. And yeah, look at this character sheet. Wow. There's a lot going on here. I'm not sure what power means. I mean, I guess it's just attack or attack abilities or something. I guess I could look it up. It's probably a power, yeah. Power is used by certain skills. Okay, right, so it's like mana or energy or something. Let's just do... Hang on. No, let's do the buff. Let's do the buff. Yeah. Increased block and evade. Seems good. Alright, and that's... Which one of these is more dead? This one. Let's see if we can kill it. Yes! Marvellous. Okay, let's see what attacks we have. Devastating blows, basic attack. 2 adjacent enemies. Whiplash. No, let's just hit it. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Yes, block. Hit it again. That's better. And blast it. Nice. Finish him. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah! The 2 Jakra lie dead at your feet. Morin wipes the foul-smelling blood from her axe blade as a guard arrives and talks to her. You okay, boss? Javik pats you on the shoulder. You nod, turning to Mormon as she approaches you. All hostiles taken care of, she says. They got to some of the food, but we could take their meat and other parts to make up for it. Yeah, let's waste not, want not. Harvest the damn critters before going back to bed. +2 ivory. Interesting. +5 hides. Looks like we have trade goods as well that we've found by doing that. That's really cool. Alright. Oh yeah, this is the wound. Look at that. Oh. Obviously we've got to go around it. Yeah, so I think I should probably... Oh, the chart is now active. What? Top right corner. Oh. The chart is your tool in navigating the wastelands of Zerin and planning out journeys. You can move around by holding the L. Yeah, okay. You can zoom. Cool. Comitatus is represented by a red banner. Look at this! Oh, it's so cool! It's like an old D&D map. Oh my god, this is fucking huge! There's a mushroom forest. There's... Oh, man! I don't know how much of this is inhabited, but look at this! Wow. Wow. My goodness. This is immense. This is absolutely fucking immense. Any discovered settlement or point of interest can be marked by clicking the icon using the flag icon. Okay. Mark of Vernum. Alright. Yeah, this is pretty close in relative terms. Let's see, we have an entry on it. Surrounded by a stone and bone wall with watchtowers standing every 200 yards, the bones were carried to the site from the plains of bone in the south at great expense and are often carved with elaborate decorations. The houses of the city are in cramped lines, forming narrow streets and small plazas. Often plazas have leather and cloth awnings to shield them from falling and slowly gathering ash of the nearby lava rivers. Oh, man. Okay. A wandering old man. Oh, this is where we actually are hearing this story being told from. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to camp before we run out of movement points because I think that will increase our vigor. I thought it would, but... Oh yeah, we should heal these people as well. How are we doing for... I can click on this to get more stuff. Okay, we have 95 consumption per day. How much supplies do we have? We don't have a lot. I mean, well, we have a fair amount, but geez. Let's keep our consumption at... yeah, we have 6... Oh, okay, it says there we have 6 days worth of supplies. I think adding the slaves doesn't increase our chances of success, but increases the amount we're going to get. So let's add the slaves to it as well. Okay. Yeah, that got us a decent number of supplies, and no foragers were harmed. Oh, healing. Good. Okay. Vigor hasn't changed by using fewer movement points, but that's okay. Forced march allows you to move further than your maximum movement points. They get you further, but use them carefully. Your crew loses vigor and even morale. We strongly suggest refraining from forced marches until you have more experience. Yeah, I don't think we'll do that. Let's camp. And forage again. Pay them now. Are you still hurt? Let's talk to you. Ask what she thinks about Javik. Javik is someone I did not trust. He can read people's thoughts, they say. But he's always been kind to everyone. And he knows his way around beasts. I'm glad he's travelling with us. Okay. Let's see. Nutrition is 5. Let's leave it at that for now. Oh, fail. We only got 12. Let's move on. As the Comitatus is scaling another stretch of black sand dunes, one of the outriders you had sent out to screen your left flank rides in on the line and immediately to you. You can see the man is in panic right away from the way he hops off the saddle while decelerating and almost falls over. Before he reaches you, your guardsmen are already setting up a defensive perimeter to the east. Beckon to the beast drivers to halt the line. Vagrus! They are coming! I saw them walking over the dunes! The pilgrims are coming! A murmur of terror washes over the Comitatus. Clearly your scout was referring to the last pilgrimage. This group of spectral horrors is known to appear out of nowhere and eradicate even large groups of travellers in a matter of minutes. Nobody quite knows what happens to those who encounter them up close, as nobody has lived to tell the tale. Some reckless people were reputedly able to take a peek at the otherworldly wayfarers, but during your many years as a Vagrus you have never met any such person whose story was credible. You know all too well if your outrider tells the truth, and you see no reason why he wouldn't. The only chance of survival is for all of you to run or hide. Let's make a run for it. You turn the whole Comitatus around and make haste back westwards, at the right angle to your espied direction in which the pilgrims are reportedly moving. After an hour of hauling ass, you make the line stop. Scouting parties you sent out saw no sign of the spectral menace, so you turn back and realign with the original direction you were travelling, headed south-southwest. You lost a lot of time today, but at least you can say you have come fairly close to the last pilgrimage and lived to tell the tale. Okay, we lost some movement points, but we're alive. We're out of movement points as well. We still only have enough supplies for 5 days, so I'm gonna... Like, it doesn't seem to change based on what we're doing here. I guess it only updates after... Let's see, 0 to 0. Does that mean no chance of getting anything? Well, that seems to be what it means. Let's try anyway. See what happens. It does reduce our vigor, though. Our vigor is... We need all the vigor we can get. So, let's leave that, in fact. Okay, moving on. It reminds me a little of Fallout, especially this overworld with the... also, how close are we now? We're still pretty damn far. Man. 6 to 9 days of travel. We don't have enough food. We're going to have to pick up the pace, because we've got 4 days left of food. I mean, how are we supposed to make it? What happens if we do forced march? Let's try it. And then camp. It's still 0% chance. And look, 100% chance of failure. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the environment. Oh yeah. Ask him about your encounter with the last pilgrimage. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I mean, we've had some tough calls since we started working together, but I never thought we would come so close to one of the greatest menaces of our time. The last pilgrimage. Javik shudders before going on. While they were nearby, I had a strange sensation grabbing hold of me. It was like, I don't know, images flashing before my eyes. I was filled with dread from these images, felt naked before some unfathomable catastrophe was coming my way. I heard chanting that went from reverent to desperate and back again. And that light. I saw it only from a distance, but I will never forget that horrible light. I just hope we never come in contact with a procession of spectral wanderers ever again. You can't help but agree. Javik scratches his chin before going on. There is also talk among the crew that coming across the pilgrims is a bad omen, and our venture is cursed. Whenever I hear such talk, I try to calm everyone down, but I thought you should know. Yeah, we only have enough food for 3 days. What are we going to do? Comitatus climbs the last black dune and comes to a halt on your mark. Standing on one of the carts, you spy the horizon carefully before hopping down and convening with your most trusted. Ahead looms the voiceless lake, a place of deathly quiet and utter peril. The lava flow of this particular tendril of the molten tongue cools down here below a tough shell of dark rock covered by steaming water. Yet the shell is not solid enough in places. It can crack in the blink of an eye and open under one's foot, leading to a sudden scalding death. There are ways to guess where it is safe to cross, but it has to be done slowly and attentively. Your scouts know their way around here, but because the lava changes constantly beneath the shell, they have to rely on finding a new way through each time. The lake is voiceless because everyone has to keep completely quiet. That way, one might hear the shifting lava and the cracking shell just in time to avoid disaster. Your lieutenants agree that crossing over to the far side of the shell is still better than going around into the Arenas Negras, however. Especially after coming so close to the last pilgrimage a few days ago, nobody in their right mind would go near the damn place, and so you're stuck with the plateau surrounding the voiceless lake. Let's see, we have a high chance of success, and we can increase it with the cost of 2 resourcefulness. Let's do that. Going step by step, listening carefully to any telltale sounds while sweating profusely, every member of the Comitatus manages to make it through. After hours that felt like days, you can turn away from the accursed lake and head southward. The crew becomes animated as you leave the perilous plateau behind, even joking amongst themselves about the constipated silence back there. Look, if I hadn't given that 10%, we would have failed it. Holy shit. You leave the voiceless lake behind. +1 morale. Nice. Yeah, let's keep going. I just realised I really... Oh.
Just as we were about to leave that damnable lake behind, we heard it. An abominable shriek pierced the air and made us gasp. It came from behind some hills nearby, coupled with the ruckus of battle. The armed women and men of the Comitatus looked at their Vagrus questioningly.